Hi everybody, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the channel where we talk all about intentional parenting, mental and emotional health, and what it's like to be an unconventional religious mother. I want to tell you a bit of a story. I am 20 weeks pregnant during the COVID crisis, and I wanted to explain a little bit about what it's like, if not for documentation purposes, but for, other moms going through the same thing, or other moms in the future going through something similar or perhaps worse, God forbid, of what it's like to be a pregnant woman during this crisis. So I have talked a little bit about being somebody who believes in natural immunity and natural health in my previous videos. I'll link those down below. And my first experience of being pregnant and giving birth was not during a COVID time. It was actually during a time in my life where I was working full time and I was still on my father's insurance because I was below 26. I don't remember how old I was. So I had gotten pregnant and we thought, hey, perfect, let's have our first baby with my dad's insurance because, I don't have to hop onto my husband's insurance and pay that, and we don't have to pay, double when we don't have to, because there was no effect on my dad's monthly payments, or it was small or something. It was a good idea. Then I got pregnant and I did what I thought I was supposed to do, which is go to the doctor and confirm my pregnancy, because I knew nothing about anything at that point. So I did that, and I had my sisters and my mom with me, and I got an ultrasound, I think. Yes, I did. I got an ultrasound at 10 weeks or something. I don't know. I just did whatever they were telling me. So, I got home and showed everybody my ultrasound and yada, yada, yada. About a week later, probably less than that, we got a bill in the mail for the entire office visit bill, whatever, pregnancy brain, the entire visit. We got a bill for it. And we were like, what's going on here? Insurance didn't cover anything, blah, blah, blah. Come to find out, my dad's insurance policy did not cover dependent pregnancies. Wow, okay, but I was already pregnant, and my husband's open enrollment wasn't going to be until a few months, after we needed it, right? So there, I can link the story of being pregnant and all that that I tell with my husband. I'll link that video below so you can watch that too. But that was my first experience of being pregnant. So I remember crying on the floor in the closet of my rented apartment with my husband, like, I can't believe this. What are we gonna do? A hospital birth is $30,000 that I looked up on Google. Giving birth in a hospital is tens of thousands of dollars. It's very expensive. And I come from the background of, I don't go to doctors. I'm very preventative minded and very, don't need doctors unless you're really sick kind of thing. So I don't go to the doctors a lot anyway, so this was freaking me out. So I talked to a lady at basketball. She told me about how she gave birth with a birth center. And I was like, people still do traditional births? Guys, I thought it was illegal. I didn't know people still did traditional births and home births. I didn't know. I was so ignorant. I found out about that. I found out the cost was, I don't know, like a very small fraction, like $5,000 to $7,000 of what a hospital birth would be. And that was what I based my decision on. Lo and behold, I learned so much about, giving birth through the Bradley method and through education through my midwives and all the books that they had, laying out and research that they gave us and encouraged us to do our own research. I learned so much, and I'm like, I can't believe I was going to initiate a voluntary hospital birth. So I afterwards, became very dedicated to doing home birth. And so this time around, my husband's like, we have insurance. It shouldn't be a problem. We had planned on getting pregnant earlier, a few months earlier, before the whole COVID thing started. So we actually got pregnant, 6 months after we had planned on it. So we had already had this planned, and we get pregnant. We're all excited. I announced it to my husband with a shirt and a book that my daughter brought downstairs, and I thought it was really cute. Her shirt said "Super Fun Sister" or something, and the book was a library book, like How to Be a Big Sister or something, and he was so thrilled and excited. Maybe I'll share that video too. But we were super excited, and I started researching midwives to deliver my baby, and I started realizing through communicating with them and also reading their policies and stuff, that a lot of them were not in network with my insurance company. Oh my gosh, I was just so frustrated. And then upon further investigation, the ones that were in network with my insurance company were only partially in network, or something strange to where you would have to do all this stuff with your insurance company. And that's not even who I wanted to give birth with. I wanted to give birth with the most natural, dedicated to natural methods and prevention and your body knows what to do mindset as possible. So I finally found a place that I really like, and my insurance requires a physician to recommend them to me for my insurance to even consider making an exception for the policy to cover some of the birth. And I'm just thinking to myself, how is it that you will completely cover a $30,000 hospital birth, but you won't cover a $5,000 to $7,000 home birth? I don't know what that is, and it's very frustrating. And having to get the recommendation of a physician that I don't go to because I don't have a PCP. We don't go to the doc. We don't really get sick, praise God. We don't get sick that often. I do a lot to try to prevent illness, but I don't have a doctor that I go to that I could just be like, oh, hey, can you go ahead and initiate that exception policy for me? So I've been going back to the doctor I took my daughter to when she was 1 or something. And it's not that I even necessarily feel like I need to go to the doctor. I'm a healthy young woman, and I don't feel it's necessary to go to all the amount of checkups that are recommended for pregnant women. But not having the option and not knowing if my home birth is going to be all out of pocket or not is stressful, especially for my husband. And so waiting for an appointment, because of course everybody's booked out, and then the office is closed due to COVID, and then they can't find a reschedule for months down the road. And I'm like, come on guys, I just want to start this process so I know what I'm getting myself into. So it's been very difficult. Mentally, it's been very difficult trying to wrap my head around this, trying to understand and plan, and planning for the postpartum period, in which I plan to have a traditional doula that is certified and trained in the Moroccan postpartum traditions. I've been planning for that, but it's very hard to see how much money I will have versus whatever, because I don't know how much we're going to be charged. I don't know how much we're going to be paying. So it's been very just stressful trying to do this. And I just think that it's worth thinking about as to like why insurance companies are so resistant to cover any natural or alternative services. I don't know. It's just frustrating. I feel like people who believe in natural and alternative and whatever are discriminated against within the insurance industry. I mean, I literally have to jump through hoops in order to even plead my case. So it's very frustrating. So it's been, happiness and excitement mixed with stress and frustration, and pile on top of that moving. So I'm 20 weeks now. I will update you guys. I have chosen to get one ultrasound at 22 weeks because twins run in my family, and the midwife needs to know how many there are. So that would be in February next month. So I'll keep you guys all updated as to how this is progressing. Symptoms, during the first trimester were much worse than my first pregnancy. Incredibly nauseous. And I always say that the nausea alone is worse than the birth experience, than labor. It is. For me, absolutely horrible. Makes me reconsider why I'm alive and like all this crazy. It has a great mental toll on me. So I left that behind in the first trimester. It creeped over a little bit into the second, but I think I willed it away. That was bad. And I got big really fast. And I know that for second pregnancies, your womb, your uterus expands quicker because the muscles are already used to being pregnant. But I'm pretty big. I'm as big as I was when I was like 26 or 28 weeks last time. So I don't know. So we'll see, and I'll keep you all updated. Let me know if you have any questions or if you have any advice for me or whatever it may be. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.